Hey AJ.
What's up, Brian?
AJ, who needs Call of Duty? Who needs it?
Somebody out there does.
Everybody needs Call of Duty.
What they
What?
need something to make them cuss every 5 seconds
Uh-huh.
and tell some insult about somebody's mom.
Uh-huh.
Got to get that out. Somebody needs that. It's therapeutic. It's good.
I mean, everything exists for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Can't wait to see why this happened though. AJ, we've got a lot of news to talk about today, man. Like as much as I want to sit here and do the whole "you can't do that on television" thing, I feel like we should start the show.
Well, let's go, man.
Let's do it. This is PSVR GamesCast Live, where we film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern live. It means you're watching it right now. It means you're watching it live. But if you're watching it later and have no idea that you're not watching it live, well, then this conversation means absolutely nothing to you. My name is Brian Paul from this channel right here, PSVR Without Parole, and this guy over here, the Zenithian himself, the Lord of the GameCat Dojo, it's AJ from Underground, PSVR Underground.
Welcome to the Game Cat Dojo.
God, I've heard
up, Brian?
so many times over the last 3 or 4 days.
What is up, Game Cats? Happy Monday. 103 members in the Game Cat Dojo.
Well, that answers that question. I guess.
Yes.
I guess you can have more than 100, and yes, we do.
And more incoming tonight. I can't wait. I'm super excited. I've been playing with them a lot, and it's been amazing, man. No, but really, man, happy Monday. I know that Mondays usually suck, but we are here to ensure your Monday sucks. Just a little bit less.
That's right. AJ, thank you for being here. I know I hate to pull anybody away from Zenith. I hate to pull all the cats away from Zenith. I think that most of the cats today are probably playing Zenith, and so hello to everybody watching later. This is going to be a super short episode. We're going to do like 15, 20 minutes, I think, tops, so we can get back in there and get back to the game. No, we got too much shit to talk about. Although Zenith has definitely overtaken our lives, I think. But let's not waste any time, AJ. Let's get right to.
Oh God, so
dude,
serious. Oh my God.
Dude,
okay.
There's so much news to talk about today, right?
I forget there's other stuff going on.
Yeah, dude, I couldn't believe it, right? I mean, we woke up to pretty awesome news, and then the day just got crazier and crazier as it progressed. But the news that we woke up to was that there's going to be a state of play on Wednesday. What do we know, AJ, about that state of play?
As far as I know, it was something regarding Gran Turismo 7, right?
Yeah, and in fact, it's going to be, I think, nothing
focused on that,
but Gran Turismo 7, which is pretty crazy. It's supposed to be like
future PSVR2 title. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm sure people are excited about the game itself, right? I mean, like Gran Turismo is always like it's one of the biggest sellers on PlayStation. People fucking love car simulators. I think some people who have had a PlayStation 5 are like, "Where's our Horizon?" Because I know everybody over on the Series X has been absolutely loving that game. So
Forza Horizon's really good. Yeah, Sony needs to bring it, come big with the Gran Turismo 7 now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. So the big question is like, so it's going to be great to see 30 minutes of new Gran Turismo footage. This isn't the kind of game you can really ruin, right? It's just like, it's a racing game, man. It's like we want to see every aspect of it. We want to go what the game's capable of, what kind of features it's going to have, how is it better than Gran Turismo Sport, all of that stuff. But the question that's on everybody's mind, AJ, isn't really about the game itself. It's more about the PSVR2 compatibility, of whether they're going to show any PSVR2 footage at all. Do you think that's a thing, or do you think that they would have been more explicit about that in the blog post?
I don't think they would have been explicit about it with the blog post, and I think that's what makes this a tricky one to figure out, because they haven't officially announced it yet. They would, once they do the big, exciting announcement, then they would be like, okay, and we're going to talk about PSVR 2 a little bit. But they're still saving that. I mean, that is a huge announcement looming on the horizon, and yeah, I don't know. I think it would be a wonderful welcome surprise, and I would be shocked, even though I kind of like fully expect it to happen. Just like when they announced the name PSVR 2 alone, PlayStation VR 2. That's what I like to say. I like to say PlayStation VR 2. I I think we have to wait for the big grand announcement, and that could potentially happen here. But I'm going to keep my expectations really low. Right here.
right here on GamesCast. It could happen any day. Yeah, no, I think that Sony's been taking some really strange routes in making their announcements. I mean, Herman Hulst's, or was it Jim Ryan? He had the interview in GQ, and he revealed stuff there. They did stuff. They've been revealing things on the PlayStation blog, and then of course at CES. So it's all these routes that Sony isn't really known for taking. Sony used to make all their big announcements at either the PlayStation Experience or E3, but those things don't really exist in the way that they used to. So I feel like anything is possible at this point, and they've been trickling out this PSVR 2 information for so long, since early last year, that, I mean, if people are there to see Gran Turismo 7, and like, we can't wait for the most realistic racing sim ever made, then you could probably Trojan horse a few of those viewers and create PSVR 2 gamers out of them if you say, but the most realistic way to play is in VR, and check this shit out and like demonstrate it. I think that kind of surprising those people by talking about the VR aspect of it, again, could be a good Trojan horse. Where if you say, hey, this is a PSVR 2 focused event, you're going to lose millions of people right off the bat because they're like, I don't care about VR.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be a good way to tease it at least, or make the announcement, and just show a little bit. Like, I feel like, I mean, of course, I'd love the whole thing to be it, but I feel like the way they would do it, if they showed it here, would just be like a tease almost, like, or because they're going to say after everything, they always say, we have so much more to share with you, but right. But it would be nice to get an actual official PlayStation VR 2 thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's gonna be the big thing. We will definitely get a big PSVR 2 showcase at some point. But
it's a huge announcement. That's a system seller, so you can't go small with that.
Right.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is like they usually do say in the PlayStation blog posts, there will be no PlayStation VR 2 information or games or footage or anything shown here. And they didn't say that in this blog post, to my knowledge. I skimmed through it and didn't see anything about VR. So the fact that they didn't mention it might actually be a good sign.
Well, again, Gran Turismo 7 has not been announced. So
right.
It's not like we would be expecting to hear that anyways, So I saw Shades of Grey Matter, and I was like, I do agree. But it also is not a thing yet. So it has to be a thing first before they set it up like that.
Yeah. Yep. But somehow, a new state of play regarding a huge, huge PlayStation exclusive franchise was not the biggest news that we got today. Was it, AJ?
No. Apparently, something big happened while I was not around to see it.
Same.
And that is PlayStation has acquired Bungie, the developers behind Destiny and former other IPs. But Destiny's the big one they got going right now.
Yeah, I mean, former other IPs being all the good Halo games.
Yes.
Right. I think that's a huge thing for most of the people. Yeah. Real quick, we got Slyword 251 and GameCat with the 25 and 1/10 quid. I'm not sure really how to say that. And today I finally made it into the guild. Oh, congratulations, Slyword. I'm sorry I missed you. When I collected tears today, they were tears of joy. Massive thank you for everything that you've done for VR and spawning this community, having the best time with the cats. Yeah, dude. Shout out to AJ who's been getting everybody into the guild nonstop. I keep saying, hey, do you want to set up a time just to like for everyone to get in at the same time? He's like, no. He's like, I'll take care. It's fine. We don't need to schedule anything. So he's just in there 24/7.
Easy come, easy go kind of guy.
Thank you for joining us, Sly and Slyword, and thank you, and thank you to everybody. This has been Zenith. I know that we just started talking
number
about
101, Slyword number 101. I even know your numbers now.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I think everybody should know their number.
Unless I'm wrong about that, then I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. We're trying to talk about like the biggest news of the day, but man, like I feel like we're still all reeling on Zenith. And it's that excitement.
Well, we care about games, man. We're gamers. Like, if there was one thing we care about the most is games. And we just got hit with 2 awesome games over the weekend, or right before the weekend. And yeah, man, this is the kind of stuff that we like the most and appreciate and has our biggest interest. So, and then you give us the ability to all be together as well and celebrate these games together in virtual person, and we go crazy.
In virtual person, that should be a new phrase. We also got Bell Ramy, the Game Cat, with the €10 says, sorry folks, need to sleep. Zenith craze makes me tired and I need to work. We'll watch tomorrow if I manage not to play Zenith. Thank you very much, Bell. Bell's been like he's just been forging ahead, man. He's been miles ahead of everybody since day one, since pre-day one. But man, it's been...
How'd that turn out for you, Bell? No, I'm just kidding. That's so mean.
It's been a blast getting everyone in there. And man, every time I just run into a few people and we all kind of go on quests together, it's just fun. And again, I'm super antisocial, so if I'm quiet, it's not because I'm a dick. I might be a dick, but the more important factor here is that I'm just super antisocial off of the channel. And so just bear with me if I seem like I'm acting weird, because I'm just fucking weird in general. AJ.
I agree. Oh, what? Yes.
I mean, I don't think...
No, you're a nice guy. You're a sweetheart.
I'm tolerable at best. I think that's the way this goes. AJ, Bungie is joining PlayStation, according to Jim Ryan over on the PlayStation blog today. Says, today I'm happy to announce that Bungie will be joining the PlayStation family. Says, first off, now this is super important, guys, because I feel like Xbox isn't doing this as well. Saying, first off, I want to be very clear to the community that Bungie will remain an independent and multi-platform studio and publisher. As such, we believe it makes sense for it to sit alongside PlayStation Studios organization, and we are incredibly excited about the opportunities and synergies, that's a made-up word, and collaborations between these 2 world-class groups. I've spent a lot of time with Pete Parsons, Jason Jones, and the Bungie management team to develop the right relationships where they will be fully backed and supported by Sony Interactive Entertainment and enabled to do what they do best, build incredible worlds that captivate millions of people. Is this not wildly different than the way Xbox handled the Activision acquisition? We still don't know what games are exclusive and what's not. He's like, oh yeah, we want to do the thing. It's like, but basically all he's saying is like, we want to fulfill the contracts, and then and then we'll see what happens after that.
Yeah, I don't really, I don't know. It's an interesting one. Obviously, Destiny is a very popular, still strong going game, and there could be another Destiny in the works. There probably will be now that there's a thing. Maybe they want to take Destiny and turn it into PlayStation's Halo. But then it has these MMO elements to it. So there is a lot to go on there. It does make sense. And a lot of the thing is, a lot of these acquisitions, these changes that we're seeing, are not immediately going to be noticed. These are things that are probably likely going to be more noticeable in the future. And whether it be Sony or Microsoft, when they say that we want to keep the games multi-platform and whatever, we'll see how that plays out. It'll be very interesting because it feels like this was definitely much. I mean, this couldn't have been just a reaction, could it? I mean, I guess it would maybe be.
I don't think things work that quickly. I don't think you just oh my God, Microsoft bought Activision. Hey, quick, look at who can we go buy? Right. It's not like a magazine you just look at and says who buy the developer. The other thing though is if you have close personal relationships with people in Activision, if you're Sony and you've been working with Activision for 30 plus years, right, and you just know you know a long time ahead of time that Microsoft is buying them before it becomes public knowledge. So it could have still been a reaction.
Only the head
Just
honchos, only the heads of
sure,
the.
but again, it still could have been a reactionary move, but a reactionary move that went into effect a long time ago. Sony didn't just hear the news last week and then go, oh, who can we buy? Like if they knew this months ago, then the reactionary period started months ago. Things just don't happen all that fast like this. But I you know, it's interesting because they're going to remain third party. They're going to remain their own publisher, independent. But I do think that if you're Sony and you're interested in getting particular games into VR, now, because we got to give this the PlayStation VR2 slant, right? That's what we do here. We're a PlayStation VR channel, and I think it's much easier to get a studio that you own to add PSVR2 support to their huge MMO FPS than it is to say, hey, Activision, like get on board with this shit. And also, and now now our competitor doesn't have something, so you're basically leveraging the PlayStation version much higher than the Xbox version, right? Suddenly, Activision isn't able to say, hey, Microsoft, we're delivering the same game to you as we are to Sony. It's now a different game. And so because of the VR functionality. And so it's much easier when you own a company to say, yeah, don't worry, Destiny 2 is still coming to all platforms, but on PlayStation 5, you're going to have the VR version included as well. So that's what I'm hoping. I know there's a lot of Destiny fans out there, and I think a lot of them, Rypop specifically, would be super excited to have Destiny in VR.
Yeah, I think it could be a good fit. I never really got into it, but it looked kind of cool, and I like MMOs, and yeah, I don't know. I only played a little bit of the first one, I think, and then I bought the PlayStation Pro white Destiny bundle because I wanted a white PlayStation Pro, and then I gave the game away or sold it or something. And I've never been a huge shooter guy, so swords are more my thing. But I don't know. I feel like if this is something, let's say there is a VR game, I feel like it had to be at least years and years, several years out. So I'm not going to be excited about this just yet until it's like, hey, we have a huge dedicated project for PlayStation VR 2, and it's not just a short experience. It's
Well, I was just reading an article about Bungie's plans, and the article is a year old as it was, and it was basically saying about how they're going to have DLC for Destiny 2 for the next few years, and that Bungie's next big IP isn't planned to launch until 2025, I think. And so I do think because Destiny 2 has such a long tail on it that we could see a PSVR 2 version of Destiny sooner rather than later. I feel like that makes sense. Be like, hey, this game's still got 3 more years left in it. Let's take full advantage of that time and get as many players in. But we'll see. I definitely think whatever their next project is, the 2025 game will definitely have VR support. And these guys are first-person shooter people, right? It's
I've always thought that first-person shooters, competitive first-person shooters. Well, is it a competitive game or is it PvE?
I believe it's PvE.
Yeah, okay, so that would make more sense then.
Yeah, everyone's always talking about raids and shit like that. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I was gonna say if it's PvP, I don't think VR and flat screen usually would be a good match PvP because we'd have the advantage being able to reach around walls and.
It's so funny. We think that we'd have the advantage, right? But whenever flat screen gamers talk about VR and flat screen games working together, they always say that PC has the advantage because mouse and keyboard is super accurate and super fast, quick to turn, all that shit. But yeah, we do have some tactical advantages, I think, in VR for sure.
Oh, it does have PvP as well.
Oh, it has both. Oh, right on.
Yeah.
I don't know shit about Destiny. I tried to play. I played either the Destiny beta or I actually got a free copy of Destiny at launch. I forget what it was back in the day, and I played it for a little bit and was like, "This is okay," but it just didn't scratch any of the itches that I was looking for.
I was hoping it'd just be a complete Halo ripoff in it, and it was like a bare bones Halo.
Yeah, and
I'm not even a big Halo guy either, but
I know that Destiny became a wildly different game, and Destiny 2 was obviously much bigger and everything.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't my speed at launch, and of course VR happened after that, which meant I was out of the loop, man. It's like it was done. Anything that came out at post VR just didn't get any love from me. AJ,
Hey.
you ever heard of this guy, Hideo Kojima? Does that name mean anything to you?
Sounds familiar, but no, who is he?
Everybody knows that Hideo Kojima is the mastermind behind Metal Gear Solid.
You
and
got me.
Many other titles. But the news comes to us today, or actually earlier this week, I guess, or last week, that it seems as if, now, you got to take this with a grain of salt. I love rumors so very much, but at the same time, rumors always need to be taken with a grain of salt. It seems like Hideo Kojima might be making a PSVR2 game, and that is super exciting to me. I'm going to bring up the article here from VR Scout real quick.
Yeah, there's a couple articles we can reference here. There was a great translated tweet that I found that I should have saved or something, but I was an idiot and didn't because it said some really interesting things that I would have liked to go touch on. But it's probably going to mention it in all these other articles anyways. So it doesn't
all right, cool. Well, then in that case, let me bring up the VR Scout article and we'll take it from there. Let's see here. We've got the title of the article is Hideo Kojima is rumored to be working on a VR game. That is not specific enough for me. We definitely need to be talking about PSVR 2. It's weird that they kick off this article by asking the question that doesn't make any sense at all. It says, "Could Metal Gear Solid VR be on the way?" What? I don't understand what about this rumor that the rumor specifically states that that Kojima's had a PSVR 2 prototype since late last year, November of 2021. But there's no reason Kojima could be making a Metal Gear game or possibly even a Silent Hill game. I think anything's possible. They could have worked out some deals with Konami, but it just seems like Kojima would rather be making his own IP and not work with Konami again. So anyway, with that out of the way, I've got literally 6 words out of this article out of the way. It says, word is a legendary video game developer and industry darling Hideo Kojima might be working on his own VR game. According to a tweet by Oops Leaks, a Twitter account dedicated to video game rumors and leaks, the award-winning game designer, director, producer, and writer is currently in possession of the recently announced PSVR 2 and may be in development of a new indie project with Celine Tricart, an award-winning filmmaker specializing in VR, MR, and XR storytelling. Citing unconfirmed sources, OopsLeak claims that the game could be a smaller project developed by Kojima Productions, an original game studio founded by Kojima back in 2015 after a very public falling out with Konami. This information lines up with a recent interview with Tokyo-based radio station Wave Radio, during which Kojima shed additional light on several upcoming projects. We're going to keep going here because we've got to see what the additional information is. During the interview, Kojima said the studio is working on an edgy project unlike anything we've played before. Not a traditional game, the project will feature a different concept than we're familiar with. However, Kojima was quick to clarify that this is not an AR game before cutting himself off abruptly in order to reveal too much. So while it's true that Kojima has no shortage of original IPs to pull from, Metal Gear Solid, Death Stranding, PT, I can't help but hope that this upcoming VR experience, if real, features an original storyline and premise. That said, I certainly wouldn't mind an official VR adaptation of PT. Blah, 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 blah.
Yes, that is the dream right there. And that's what so I'm going to be set on that. That's what I think it's going to be. Not PT directly, right. But I think that if I had to guess here, I think that Kojima would make a smaller horror or just really weird PlayStation kind of VR2 experience, and I think that that's what they're gonna end up doing. I hope it's like a small game or something, like maybe like a 5-hour game at most, or at least. But
what are you talking about, AJ? We want a 30-hour Kojima game in VR. What are you talking about with this 5-hour nonsense?
I'm talking about because they've already said that it's not going to be a big game, or that it's not a big project. So Part of this this covered a lot of what I had read with the direct translation, and then there were some other things like him saying it's kind of like how From Software went and did Derasane. I feel like it's gonna be maybe like one of those. It's gonna maybe be gorgeous. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be cool, but it's maybe not gonna be exactly what we would everything everybody's mind first goes to and expects and gets like, but that could be remedied if it is a horror game, I think.
Yeah, I think the thing is that when people say they want PT in VR, they're not. I don't think most people are saying we want PT in VR. I think
I do. I want PT in VR.
I mean, yeah, but we've played that, and we haven't played it in VR. I mean, like we kind of played it in Dreams in VR because people have been recreating it since they were able to. But I mean, I want something new. I want something because we saw in PT, we saw that Kojima was capable of horror in a way that maybe no one else is capable of pulling that shit off, right?
Right.
It was psychological.
That was the scariest shit ever.
It was scary. It was psychological. There was some really interesting storytelling there. There were scares that were introduced in ways that I've never seen them introduced before. And as a guy who's played a ton of horror in his life, like that, this relatively short game was just packed with shit that blew me away and original ideas. And so what I want isn't hey, here's PT. I would like, I mean, obviously if Silent Hills is still a possibility, that would be great, but I don't even really care about the Silent Hills IP. I want Kojima to have the freedom to take this medium and really show us what it's capable of, and push the technology forward and show us how scary things could be, not hold back and not have anyone saying, hey, Kojima, that's too scary, or don't do that we don't want you doing that with our IP. Like, give him the complete creative control to make the scary game that he's capable of making, because I feel like that's what he was able to do with PT. So
yeah, but PT is not owned by Kojima. That's owned by Konami or Silent Hills, I should say.
Exactly.
So this whole thing,
that.
like, yeah, so like I'm not expecting that one bit. Like I would love nothing more than Silent Hills to make a comeback or something, and that rumor just won't die. But I really don't believe that's going to happen, at least anytime soon. Or there's somebody else is working on it, but it's not going to be Kojima working on it. When I say what I would love though is that same magic that went into making PT. I want that. It doesn't have to be, like I said, not direct PT, but I want that same magic captured and made into like a 5-hour game or something, or however long it can be, if not more. And I want it to be scary as hell, weird, gross, whatever Kojima can think of on his worst day, and just shove it in there. And I think it could be really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm absolutely with you. So we got some people in the comments making some good guesses. Neon Gru says Kojima will make a cinematic VR game. Larry Chu says Visage in VR, which, man, that would be amazing. We're still waiting for that. There was supposed to be a PSVR 1 version of that. CVD in Japan says Derasane was a spiritual successor to Echo Knight, which made me just want Echo Knight VR. That's fucking crazy, man. I haven't heard anyone say the words Echo Knight in literally 20 years. I was actually just playing Echo Knight 1 on an emulator recently. I love that series. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, the possibilities here are endless. But we got to move on, man. We got to move on. There was an article on the website How to Geek called "PlayStation VR 2 isn't wireless, and that's a good thing."
What?
I know, AJ. I mean, you and I are mostly in the realm of PSVR, and we mostly surround ourselves with PSVR gamers. But we're out there in the wild west of VR.
Mostly is an understatement.
Well, I mean, you can't. Unfortunately, when you're on something like Twitter, you get the brunt of outside VR factors coming in and saying all sorts of crazy nonsense, like if PSVR 2 is dead in the water if it doesn't go wireless, right? That kind of shit. PSVR 2 is a massive step back if it doesn't ditch the wire. We see these comments all the time, and people have come into my how PlayStation VR 2 will save VR video, and said all sorts of craziness, which is fine. I appreciate that everyone has a perspective, even if it's wrong. That's fine, man. Come watch my video, and then leave your comment. Because guess what that helps? The algorithm. We love you guys. Real quick, Move Master Mick, the shape-throwing PSVR Game Cat with the 10 quid says, at PSVR Underground, thank you for adding me to the Game Cat Zenith Dojo yesterday. Sorry, I was very naked at the time and unable to throw some shapes for y'all. But wow, what a game Zenith is. Was his character naked, or was he just naked behind the VR headset? I have so many questions.
You missed some really funny stuff. I think yesterday.
Yeah.
I've got pictures though for you.
There's pictures of Move Master Mick.
I don't think it's Move Master Mick. No, I think he was invisible. I don't think he was naked.
Okay.
Wait. Yes. Yeah. No, he was learning how to equip armor right in front of a bridge full of everyone.
Yeah, some people are exhibitionists, man. What are you going to do?
Yeah. We had to kind of create a barrier for him.
Please, there were children present. Okay. I'm going to bring up this How to Geek article about the Wire, and let's get that.
While you do that, yeah, everybody, he had accidentally unequipped his chest plate, and he was playing as a female character, and there'd always be people funneling back to the bridge, and you just see people stop and like double take, and like it was funny.
It is really strange watching people run around without clothes on in that game.
Well, sometimes it's a glitch, and that was what happened last night. There was a glitch, and then we didn't want that one person to be embarrassed, so we all took our chest plates or whatever off.
Wait. Did I miss a Game Cat orgy?
No.
Did I miss a snorgy? Because if I miss a snorgy, I'd be really upset.
Might have been a little bit of a snorgy.
A little bit of a snorgy. PlayStation VR2 isn't wireless, and that's a good thing, by Sydney Butler over at howtogeek.com. The article reads, the PlayStation VR2 headset uses a single USB-C cable to connect to the PlayStation 5. Some fans are dismayed by the cable. No, I wouldn't call them fans, especially in the world of the wire-free Quest 2, but Sony made the right choice. He goes on to say, and AJ, please stop me at any point if you're interested in disputing or agreeing with any of the things he's saying here.
Yeah.
He goes on to say, the Quest 2 isn't wireless. There seems to be some confusion when comparing the current VR market leader to the PlayStation VR 2. They are fundamentally two different categories of VR headsets. The Quest 2 is a completely self-contained VR system. All the hardware needed to make VR work is inside the Quest 2. In other words, the Quest 2 isn't a wireless headset. It's a standalone headset.
I love that point. I love the way they convey this argument, right? Because I'm going to be like, I'm curious how they are going to try and plead this case that it's not a wireless headset. Now, it is wireless. It's a wireless device, yes. But I think the important part that you bring the focus to is that it's not that it is a standalone headset, and that's an important thing. The headset's not designed to go to a console. It's not originally intended and designed to go to a PC. It has some of these capabilities, which this article I think is about to mention. Mm-hmm. Please continue.
Yeah, I do want to say that when people talk about Quest 2, they're constantly. I hate the confusion because they'll say Quest 2 this, Quest 2 this, Quest 2 that, and then they'll say, well, when I hook it up to my PC, my $1,500 PC, it's awesome. And I'm like, well, then you're not talking about Quest 2 anymore. You are far beyond the Quest 2 ecosystem. You're talking about PC VR now. That's a wildly different conversation. So
Right.
I'm glad that he kicks this off by kind of setting the stage and making sure that everybody's on the right page for these discussions. In other words, Quest 2 isn't wireless. It's a standalone headset. These two headsets have different use cases and design goals. The PlayStation VR 2 is an accessory to a powerful console, which is a device doing all the actual work. If you want VR with the same quality that a PS5 can produce on a Quest 2, you need to connect it to a PC using a cable and the Oculus Link function. You also have the option to connect it to a PC wirelessly, but that's not currently the best way to experience PC VR on a Quest.
Right, universally. Obviously there are some people, the majority of people do not have steady, solid wireless functionality with it. There are some exceptions with a couple people, but the average like mass consumer, no, hard no on that.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. Like obviously, Oculus isn't releasing these numbers, but if you do some quick math and you start looking at how many people are using just the Quest 2 headset standalone on its own and staying within that ecosystem, and how many people are actually hooking it up to a PC, it's pretty easy to figure out that only about 10% of the people who are buying Quest 2s are hooking it up to a PC. So usually when you say Quest 2, you really are referring to just the Quest 2. Real quick before we get too far out of it, I want to make sure that we give a shout out to Waleed Saeed Faridi with Canadian $2 tip. Says that he's hoping for a AAA PSVR2 shooter. His hopes for a AAA PSVR2 shooter is alive with Bungie. Hell yeah, man. Absolutely. Thank you for the donation.
Keep
and
your
also
eye on Sony London Studio as well. I don't know what they're up to, but they could be up to something.
Yeah, the rumor for them is a multiplayer shooter as well, right?
Right. And Sony London Studio usually dabbles in new hardware and tech.
Yeah, and they seem to be very much about like the action movie genre. They're talking like more real world kind of stuff. Like if they make a shooter, expect it to be much more like, like Blood and Truth or the London Heist or the Getaway. Larry Chu with the $5 tip says, "Bravo, thank you, Larry. Not even sure what we did to deserve.
Bravo, Larry.
Thank you very much.
Choo, choo.
Getting back to this. To be clear, wireless VR solutions do exist. In the case of Quest 2, you can use AirLink, but the feature is still in the experimental phase. You need to carefully consider your network configuration to make it work well. It seems the best solution is to connect your PC to a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi router using Ethernet. It's even better if that router is dedicated to VR and only VR. Even then, Wi-Fi isn't nearly as reliable as the USB-C cable, and it doesn't have the same sort of bandwidth in real-world situations." This is something that I think is worth noting, because a lot of people said, AirLink works perfectly or whatever. And I think under the perfect situations, AirLink can work perfectly. But again, as what's his name in this article is pointing out, that these are very specific situations and not everybody has these things available to them. Right. A better solution is to use a dedicated wireless system such as, is it WiGig? This is exactly what was done with the HTC Vive and Vive wireless pack. Has a module for the headset, a battery, and a PCIe WiGig card to let the PC talk to the headset. It should be noted that the Vive wireless adapter pack costs more than an entire Quest 2 headset. So while this 60 gigahertz wireless technology does exist, it's still outside the realm of affordability for either the Quest 2 or the PlayStation VR 2. An excellent point, man. I think when you're talking about console VR, I think Sony was already pushing the limits with the PSVR 1 as to like what we consider affordable, right? We're talking about a headset and a camera and a breakout box, and then when you factor in move controllers or anything else like that, suddenly you're talking about something that's more expensive or as expensive as the PlayStation 4 itself at the time. And I think I don't know if that was a lesson that Sony has learned. If they've realized that this $300 price point is the magical price point, or what, but yeah, you just can't be adding in all of these features and still expect to hit that magical price point, whether it be $300 or $400.
Yeah, and I think that's a big reason. It's not like Sony doesn't realize how cool wireless would be. Of course, they would implement that feature. But yeah, with all the things that the headset is going to do, I think at this time, I do believe wireless VR is the future. But right now, I think it would be too expensive, and I do think the tech maybe could use a little bit more time to evolve. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think if it was implemented, it would be far too expensive to what is already going to be a headset that they are trying to get as affordable as possible, and that the price, like you said, is really, really important there.
Right,
big factor.
And so many people have gotten pretty crazy with their assessment of how important it is to be wireless. I know we could talk about this aspect of the conversation for so long. But, Stingray X just said here in the chat, he says, "Man, you just wrap the wire around the headset, put it behind your back, and you will never notice the wire. I don't get the hate." That's one solution. there's pulleys, super inexpensive pulleys that are made by Kiwi that you can get on Amazon. It's like $20 or something for a set. It's ridiculous, and they give you multiple sets so you can like share with friends and shit. And really, I've had one sitting in my kitchen for so long. Don't ask why it's in my kitchen. That's just how I live, man. I got pulleys in my kitchen. I got sex swings in the dungeon. Don't ask questions. But so I found these pulleys after people in the chat were like, "Oh, it doesn't matter if you have a popcorn ceiling. It doesn't matter like whatever you have, that pulley system works with." And it's just been sitting there for like a year, and I was like, "Oh, I probably don't have what it takes to put this thing up." I put it up, and it's flawless. It took seconds to install. If there ever was an issue with the wire, it is not an issue with the wire anymore. It is absolutely ridiculous. So thank you to the cats who pointed that out to me. There are so many workarounds to make sure that the wire is never ever an issue. And let me tell you, the pulley system is better than just being plugged in. Like whenever I play my Quest 2, I'm playing plugged in because it dies too quickly, right? And the pulley system is so much better than that because it's really like not having a wire at all. So I don't understand the hate either. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't even need the pulley thing. I mean, we're playing again. If you're playing on a console or a PC, you kind of have to be in the vicinity of that device, no matter which one. And so for me personally, people complain about not having enough room for VR, even when it's just requiring like a 5x5, 6x6 like space. And yeah, I mean, I have a big room dedicated to this VR. And like, it's still like, it gives me plenty of space to work, but to do like having the ability to actually walk around and stuff, I'm very, very limited in that.
Yeah.
So I don't this is not something that I could use at home. Like I would have to, I don't know, take it to the park or something. And it's just, it all gets so tangled, in what the functionality, what works best. And again, if you're traveling with it, then you lose access to all the PC functionality and wireless functionality.
Right. Absolutely.
It's not like you can take I mean, I guess you could have a laptop if you have a laptop that can run PCVR, but that's got to be pretty goddamn expensive.
Finally, before we get back to the article, we got JAPR 2021 with the $5 tip. It says, I have a PSVR and a Quest PC VR via wireless. Decent PC, still prefer the frame rate, deep blacks, and the smoothness of PSVR. Thanks for the show, folks. Thank you very much, Ja. I'm going to call you Ja. Oh, you should be Ja the Gamecast or something.
Ja.
I don't know, man.
Japper.
It's a future meow. Thank you very much for the tip. All right, AJ, do you want to take over the rest of this article?
Yeah, sure. First of all, let me point out that I absolutely love this picture that looks like a 50s horror movie.
This is from a movie. I forget, what is this from? Oh no, that's not from a movie. That was a real thing.
Yeah, that looks like some convention of something.
Virtuality. I'm sure that's patented and trademarked somewhere.
All right, so it says weight matters in VR. VR headsets are let me restart that. VR headsets are in an eternal struggle when it comes to total weight and how that weight is distributed on a user's head. Early headsets, such as the ones from Virtuality in the 90s, tested the limits of the human neck. In order to go wireless, you need to add a battery and the necessary electronics to make wireless VR work. Unless these are made from an unknown, gravity-defying exotic matter, they'll add weight to the headset. Why don't we have that? Why aren't we complaining about that, Brian?
Why aren't we complaining about not having exotic materials found in alien
gravity-defying
planets?
Exotic matter.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't know, man. But we should be complaining big time about that. I will tell you, man. So there's a part in Wanderer, no spoilers, where I had my head down for a very, very long time, and I was like, in certain puzzles, there was like 5 in a row that were all identical, and I was just like, my head is down for so long, and maybe it took me longer. AJ's making faces, so I'm like, maybe it took me a longer time to figure these out than most people. But it's near the end, but my neck was sore from like looking down in VR for like 10 minutes, And the PlayStation VR headset's so comfortable as it is. It's so lightweight and ergonomic, and the weight is balanced and everything, that even like the best headset I've used for comfort still gave me a sore neck after like looking down in VR for 10 minutes. So like, I mean, oh man, so after a round of walkabout mini golf, which can last upwards of 2 hours if you've got 5 people playing on the Quest 2, holy shit, man, it's like good luck getting out of bed the next day. I just think I just admitted how old I am. I think that's what just happened there. So many people in the chat just went, how fucking old are you, Brian?
So let me finish this real quick.
Okay.
That may mean that other features of the PlayStation VR 2 wouldn't make the cut, such as the haptic actuators, eye tracking hardware, or high-end screen. What people are basically complaining about is that they don't have a PS5 on their head, Brian. And that is ridiculous to me.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
You'd have to have if you want something that is like graphically like powerful, that's standalone, then yeah, it would require a lot of additional hardware. And I do. So what he's saying here is that you can, because of it using the tether and being, using the PS5 to do most of the heavy lifting, that leaves room for additional features like the eye tracking and the haptics and stuff, which I think is actually a good call right there too.
Yeah,
somebody did their homework here.
Stingray X in the chat says the Elite headband is a MSU for the Quest 2 or a third party. The original strap is so bad. There's also battery packs that people recommend. Like, I mean, there's just so much shit. There's but the problem is, it's like everyone's like, oh, Sony has to beat the $300 price tag of the Quest 2. If you buy everything that you should buy in order to make the Quest 2 as good as it should be, you're over $400 now, right? So I think what Sony really has to do is beat the $400 mark and make sure that everything you actually need to play it and be comfortable is in the fucking box for $400, right? It's like, don't make me go buy additional head straps and fucking packs and shit. Like, no, come on, just put it in the goddamn box. That's all I need, man. Just $400 in the box.
That is that is another thing that you meant, that you're absolutely right about, that a lot of the stuff that people say, well, you can buy this, well, you can buy that. It's like, well, that's not included in the original product.
Right.
Then you paid a lot more than what you're saying the price is.
Right. They got to beat $300. Why? Because you paid $400. What's going on?
Because they paid $500. Yeah.
Actually, he goes on to talk about the price. So that's
speaking
perfect.
of price, cost must be controlled. The additional hardware to make a wireless PlayStation VR 2 wouldn't just add weight, it would add cost as well. Console hardware has a famously thin profit margin, or can even be sold at a loss, relying on the software attach rate to put the company in the black. At the time of writing, we don't know how much the PlayStation VR 2 will cost at retail, but it's going up against a $300 Quest 2, which doesn't require a $500 console to work. The PSVR that came out before was also sold at $399, albeit without motion controllers. Mm-hmm. That is a good point, too. Regardless, there's little doubt that every cent of the PlayStation VR 2's final cost on the shelf matters, and wireless connection solution would tip that number too far in the wrong direction. I just mentioned this earlier, so I'm not going to say a whole lot more on this.
Yeah.
But yes, in the future, this won't be as much of a problem. Right now, this would be really, really expensive. People, even with the wire, people are speculating, saying that the headset's going to cost anywhere from $400 to like $600 or maybe even more.
Those people are out of their minds. I think Sony is not going to release this for more than $400. You just can't. You can't.
More than $500.
More than $400.
More than $400. I think $400 is the price I'm at. $399. That's the price I'm at. And because of things like this, I feel like they can make it happen, and even if they sell it at a loss.
Right. The other thing,
that's a mic. That would be a mic drop moment price.
I think so. Oh, if they sold it at $300, it's no question about it. And because PlayStation 5 is one of those things that you're really not just buying for VR. And you're not like, oh, I need this for VR. You're buying a PlayStation 5 because it's the best next gen console out there. It's the most popular one. It's where all your friends are playing. It's where all the best exclusive games are going to be. Like, you're just buying that anyway. That's why I keep saying the PlayStation 5 is ubiquitous, and like it's hard to actually factor in the cost of the PlayStation 5 into the PSVR 2, because like somebody in your house is going to own a PlayStation 5 over the course of the next year or two. Like, there's very few gaming households last gen that didn't have a PlayStation 4 of some kind in the household by the end of the generation. So I find it to be a really hard factor to include. You're just gonna own a PlayStation 5 anyway. If you're a real gamer, you have one. If you're a real gamer, you probably have a Switch too. You know, like if Nintendo released a VR headset and said, "I'll just attach this to your Switch," I wouldn't be like, "Oh, it costs $300 more than they're saying because I need to buy a Switch." It's like everyone's got a fucking Switch.
Now, this part is really, really interesting, and somebody that asked this in the chat earlier, and I'll be interested to see what you have to say about this, but USB-C opens many doors. Going with a cheap and open standard such as USB Type-C leaves many doors open for Sony going ahead with their new headset. We've already talked about how this makes PC VR a technical possibility, but Sony can also use it to upgrade the PlayStation VR2 at a later date. It's conceivable that a wireless module via belt clip or headset mount could be connected to the headset, providing the battery, power, and wireless hardware that's currently missing. So don't lament the lack of wireless connectivity in Sony's next generation headset. When the technology is ready, there's still a way to make it a reality.
A virtuality.
A virtuality.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I went on record saying this before, that I still have faith that this is a possibility. I personally don't care about it. I will be excited if it happens, because I'm excited for all the people who want it. I'm excited for, for anybody who's saying I can't buy it if it has a wire. I'm excited for those people. And I'm going to be really fucking excited that Sony will be able to get PSVR2 into more homes and make it more accessible for the people who need that. Again, I won't be excited for myself because I probably will never use it. I'll probably buy one just to check it out and review it for you guys, but I won't. I probably won't be playing that way ever myself.
Are you talking about what, the adapter
Like
to make it wireless?
a potential wireless adapter, yeah.
Well, I play far too many hours, so it would have to have a huge battery capacity and be comfortable and practical. But yeah, I didn't even think about that. Not necessarily unclipping from the headset itself, but just having the wire go into some kind of device. I think it's a good stopgap feature. Yeah, it doesn't really bother me. Again, unless there's a game where I need to play being able to spin around 360, which is just never really usually the case. I've from the beginning, I've always liked using buttons to turn, and I understand there are people out there that really love the immersion of the physical body movement. But, take for example right now with my toe that's broken. I don't have that physical movement option even as an option right now. Yeah. So it makes it more accessible to people in the bigger picture. So, yeah. I prefer that. It's like Sirento. No, I don't want to. I don't really need to be doing real backflips when there is a way to just let me do enough to make me feel like I'm doing a backflip. There's plenty of ways to get that rush, that sensation, without subjecting myself to physical harm, which I would most likely cause myself anymore. More physical harm.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a limit to the amount of actual real life movement I want to be doing while I'm playing a game in VR. I think Dark Angel says everyone drink. The toe was mentioned. I'm totally fine. Like I really do think that PlayStation VR has sort of trained us to play a certain way. You gotta face the camera, so you're always facing your television or the wall where your camera is. And we got used to using the turn buttons. We got used to using the move controllers with the button to move. And so we've sort of got this Stockholm syndrome where it's like, oh, it's fine. Like I want to use buttons to turn or an analog stick to turn. But I do think that turning in VR, I'm standing in one place. But I don't feel the need to, outside of like a quick dodge if like there's bullets coming my way, but standing in one place and sort of dodging like this and crouching in real life and turning my body is about the extent of the movement I want to be doing while I'm actually in VR. Because dude, my place is a fucking mess. It's really small. It's messy. I've got a cat. I don't want to step on Tornado, right? It's just when you've got a box on your face and you're playing a game and you're super immersed in it, you just don't want to be running around your room. And so I do think that, yeah, I do think that I'll be turning in real life and crouching and dodging and everything, but I really don't want to be taking more than a step or two from my original position
Yeah,
at any
yeah.
point.
I like a little bit of movement for sure, but and a lot of people say, oh, it's got a wire. They must be playing sitting down. It's like, no, I like to play standing up. The wire doesn't affect me for playing standing at all. Maybe they're talking about the using the DualShock or something, because I could see that being. But even there's games where it's like detached, where I liked the standing while playing that with the DualShock. Yeah, I prefer I don't know if I'm just picky or if I like what I like, but even from the beginning, I didn't like the idea of having to physically run while playing or it's like I never liked these stupid treadmill things. I don't know. I think they're dumb. I think they're dumb gimmicky stuff that is just not important when you don't have good games for them. Now, if it's a cool experience to me, but it's like, are you going to really do that? Are you going to really run on your stupid VR hamster treadmill thing for 9 hours and playing Zenith? Or are you going to do it for 5 minutes and be like, this is amazing? Me, I'm a gamer, man. Mm-hmm. I like video games and I like playing them a lot for a very long time. And so, yeah, I don't need to be physically doing cartwheels that entire time, preferably.
Yeah.
But I do like some movement. I do like some movement.
I'm 100% with you. It's the tech is interesting to see, but I'm not interested in running in any way, shape, or form when I'm running in a game. That's just we've got enough other things to do, man. I'm multitasking. I'm shooting. I'm flying. I'm picking up items. I don't need to actually be running as well, right? Original Uber bitch, the beard game cat ran with €5. Says Sony should release car batteries attached to a belt, considering how much time we spend in Zenith. I totally agree with that. We got Donatello, the scientist game cat, with a $10 tip. Says, I don't think any logical argument will sway MetaQuest 2. I don't know what MetaQuest 2 is. MetaQuest? I'm refused to use the word meta in any other way, shape, or form.
Now, they officially changed it.
They can suck it, because they're taking a word away from our vernacular that used to mean something else. Now it means a cheap headset. A MetaQuest 2 user, that a wire is not a bad thing, but the games that MetaQuest user can't play will make all of these people forget about the wire. That's so important. It's, as AJ was saying, it's all about the games, and honestly,
the mix of the game. I mean, the tech is important too, yes, but the tech is useless without games. To me,
it's I haven't been a graphics whore in a very, very long time. I was always interested when a PlayStation 1 game or a PlayStation 2 game really exceeded the capabilities of the system that they were being played on, right? Where you're just like, wow, how the fuck did they pull this off? This is amazing, right? But ever since PS3 came along and after, I was always like, it all looks really good, and I'm not getting into the nitty gritty. It's like it all just kind of looks the same in big open worlds, and you can see a mile into the distance. I don't fucking care anymore. VR changed that. VR pulled everything backwards for a little bit, and a lot of PSVR 1 games looked like PS2 games. You're like, oh man, this doesn't look very good, or early PS3 games, whatever, right? And so suddenly you kind of, in order for VR to really reach its potential and do the thing it's setting out to do, convince your brain that you're in another world, you do need to have these more realistic graphics. And so that's what the Wire is going to be capable of doing. You look at any Quest game, and even the best looking one looks like a PlayStation 2 game. I'm sorry, it just does. Even the best looking ones look like a PS2 game. Resident Evil 4 is a PS2 game. I'm sorry, that was a AAA game 20 fucking years ago. It's not AAA anymore, man. It's not. It doesn't look that great anymore. But when you use a Wire with PSVR 2, we've talked to developers who are using the PSVR 2 dev kits and saying that they put their game into PSVR 2 on the PC settings at the absolute fucking highest, crazy above whatever standards, right? The settings that most PCs aren't even capable of. They max out all the settings on PSVR 2 and PlayStation 5, and there's still additional room, extra processing power that isn't being used. So I think everyone's going to be really fucking surprised when they see just how good PlayStation VR 2 games look. They're gonna look a lot like PlayStation 5 games, and so we're jumping ahead 2 generations. While if you really, really want to skip out on the Wire, well then keep playing on Quest and keep playing your PlayStation 2 games. That's fine. It's it's up to everybody to do what the fuck they want. But if you really want to lose yourself in a virtual world. I think there's only one place we're going to be doing that this gen. That's all I got. You ready to play 20 questions?
on the Google Premiere headset coming out now. Yeah, man, I am ready to play some 20 questions. But I like this article. Sad truth is that this article is not going to get hopefully it does, but I expect this article not to get a lot of publicity because people care more about Ken Kutagari saying that he doesn't like VR in the metaverse and negativity versus something that's like actually a positive article, which is, it's just trying to logically define the situation versus it's really not trying to start a war. It's not saying one is good or bad. It's just saying why, if anything, it's saying why the wire is going to be a good thing for it. So, yeah. And unfortunately that doesn't attract enough people with clicks and stuff. So I was honored even to talk about this little article written by these swell individuals.
We got our friend Chairface in the chat saying overhype warning. Dude, I don't know what you know that I don't, but I know what I know that you don't. So pay close attention, my friend. Not overhyping in the slightest. Get on board, bud. All right, dude.
Yeah.
I got 6 minutes. You've got the game. You're the host this time, right? You've got a PSVR game in mind, and I've got 20 yes or no questions, along with everybody in the chat, to figure out what PlayStation VR game you're thinking of. AJ, are you ready?
I was very sneaky and picked this somewhere during the GAMESCAST.
Oh, boy.
But yeah, I think about 10 of you might know this game.
No,
I'm just kidding. No, maybe more, but there should be more.
All right, we're on hard mode, man. This is happening.
Kind of hard mode, yeah.
Here we go, guys. I need all the help I can get in the chat because this is going to be fucking tough, I'm sure. Here we go. 6 minutes up on the clock, 20 questions, and what just happened? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There's no timer. There's sirens outside. Those are my sirens. Hold on. Where's my timer? Timer.
Is it an MMO?
There we go. Okay. Is this a puzzle game?
Is not a puzzle game.
Okay. Is this a shooter?
It is a shooter.
Okay. This is a shooter. Does this have aim support?
Does not have aim support.
Does it have full locomotion?
It does not have full locomotion.
Okay. Would you consider this a wave shooter?
I would not consider it a wave shooter. That's 5.
Okay. So guys, we're off and running here. I think we got a pretty good start here. It's not a puzzle game. It is a shooter, not a wave shooter though. It doesn't have full locomotion, so we're going to consider games that you're standing in one place mostly. Oh, wait, actually, let's ask this. Does it have teleportation?
It does.
Okay, so we're not standing in one place, but we're not... Okay, so what game does... Teleportation, but not full locomotion. Is this on rails?
I would say no. It is not on rails.
Okay, I just had to clarify because I saw a lot of people saying shit in the chat. So yeah, JC, Mortal Blitz is a great guess. I think somebody say Super Hot. Doom VFR has full locomotion. Mortal Blitz is a good one. Does this game start on a train?
This game does start on a train, I think.
God. Is this game Mortal Blitz?
This game is Mortal Blitz. There you go.
I took a risk. How many questions was that?
That was 5, 6, 7, 8. That was 9 questions.
Oh wow, okay. I was really hoping we busted out really fast, but less than 10 questions, man. I took a risk.
Were onto it. I saw like 20 people saying Mortal Blitz, and I was like, "Yeah, they got this."
Yeah. And there's the train where you start on. I guess it's an air train.
Played. Yeah, I was like, Are they gonna get mad at me if it's like a flying ship? I don't know.
This is actually, I think, a little bit more popular in the community than you give them credit for. I think that this
Dude,
was
I like Mortal Blitz. Node teleportation is how I would describe it. Node teleportation, and yeah, I always thought this was a cool arcade game where I love the mechanics in it. It's still to me the most like Time Crisis of any game we've had.
Even more so than Crisis Brigade, yeah.
It is. It is more like than although maybe Crisis Brigade is, you could debate that, but yeah, I've always loved the mechanic where you whip onto them and you whip back and they slow down, they go in slow motion, and you just it's very like arcade shooter like, and I love those kinds of games. So
absolutely, and the 90s arcade voice in it is just awesome. It's like
kill streak.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, I can just hear that coming out of an arcade speaker. It's
savage, or I don't remember, annihilation. One of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. All the cheesy
love it.
Subtitles for all the movie sequels of the last 20 years. Annihilation, retribution, reverberation. I don't know. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Another Monday in the books. Hopefully it made your Monday suck a little bit less. I know it made mine suck a little bit less. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you to everybody who supports us on patreon.com/withoutparolegames. Remember, that's how we keep this boat afloat. We also keep the boat afloat with all the tips that everyone gave us here today in the chat. We appreciate you so very much. Thank you to everybody who works on this channel nonstop, including the moderators who fucking are killing it, not just here, but over on Discord. Remember, click the link in the description below to join us on Discord. We're doing a Wanderer giveaway. We get 2 keys to give away later this week. So join us on Discord and get your name in there. Make sure you've entered. And, of course, Sci-Fi Game Cat Henry, who gives us all the timestamps for this show. Jamie Out, who's working on our website. And, of course, AJ from PSVR Underground, the Zenithian himself. Make sure you check out his tips video, although I can't imagine there's anyone left that hasn't seen it. That thing is killing it. Good job, man. Congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
And that's it, guys. Time to get out of here.
Video. It's one video, man. We got a long way to go.
Guys, thank you to everybody who sat back and watched the show. Didn't say a goddamn word. We know you're out there. The numbers don't lie. We love you just as much.
We've met a lot of you in Zenith.
We have indeed.
In fact, yeah, it's lovely. Keep it coming.
It's time to cue the cat. Whoa. Except the original Uber bitch, the bearded game cat, ruined it all. The €5. Thanks, AJ, for being the cat lady who lets all the cats in. What a great way to end the show. Let's cue the cat.
I love it. Cue the cat, Brian, because I want to say see you Wednesday to Aceville VR. Sacred Grove says happy birthday, Blue Jew. Her birthday is GC13.
Happy early birthday.
500 of those views are me rewatching it every time I'm about to place it, and you still don't understand it, GC. I can't believe you. Rex, bro, and as always, in case I don't see you later, good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Dark Angel 3, thank you so much. Later to you. Neon Groove, number 103? Yes, I believe so. No, number 100. Number 100 is Neon Groove. He was the Hundreds Guild member. Twitcher, the I Love Swordsman Now Game Cat. Oh my god, yeah, apparently there's a swordsman glitch.
Hell has officially frozen over.
Yes, Hell is, yeah. Oh, what's next? I'm gonna like Mervils. Nah. Got it, no fuck. It's AKA Who Dat Game Cat. So, guys, send fist bump to you. The Funk Bomb Bro, the Game Cat. Yo, happy birthday, he says. Lou's reviews. Sorry. Okay. Formerly Old Dart says bye-bye. Robert the Game Cat. Dan Keeper. Zenith or Zenith? It's both. The answer is both.
Whatever comes out of my mouth at the time, I guess.
The Sacred Grove says Zenithites. Time to play with Game Cat says kids are at bed, AJ. Let's go. Ooh. Oh yeah, I'll be jumping on Zenith soon. So guys, get ready. Join our Discord. Make sure you're ready to join us and get added to the guild. Virtual Strangers. Laters, y'all. I'll be actually joining Wes and Virtual Strangers Wednesday at midnight. So I look forward to doing a late show with them.
God, that'll be the first show I skip in a while.
When the hell do those guys sleep? Hugh Kyber, shout out to your cousin Mac. Vargosoft, goodbye to you, my friend. James Moore says, meow. Flame Hat, the love of his life, cat. Somebody says, over there says, see ya.
Yeah, listen. Hey,
Oh.
listen. I'm jumping into Zenith in about 20 minutes. If anybody wants to be in the review, I'm capturing some review footage for the rest of the night, and I'm going to get that review out tomorrow. And I just need some later in the game footage than the shit that I've got. So if anybody wants to join
Yeah.
me and get into the review, then let's go get in there and party up, man. Let's do it.
Yeah. So come to the fractured plains in front of the bridge and get in the review and get gildemized.
Gildemized? Gildemized? That sounds.
Does that sound wrong?
I don't know, man. It sounds
Sounds-
like a disease I picked up in the late '90s.
Sci-fi game cat Henry. Good to see you, man. Good job with the guests. Same with you, Shades of Grey Mather and Dorothy the Balkan Cat. My dudes. We'll see y'all.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. We'll see you in Zenith. We love you all.